What's the point of eating any food? What's the point of going to work? What's the point of talking to my friends? Nobody understands what you're going through. Everyone expects you to perform just like people who are living normal. Nobody really has empathy for you because they don't understand what you're going through. Because those who haven't been through an actual big life reset like that or a life collapse, they don't understand what it's like. They legitimately don't know what you're going through. So it's nearly impossible for those people to have real empathy for you. And that can be very frustrating when you're going through it. Hello, friends. This is Josh with the Life Reset Collective. Today, I want to talk to you about something pertaining to the life reset that is very personal. And I think this is very important to the journey. This is a channel designed to provide hope, help, encouragement, and support to those who are going through an actual life reset. There are many reasons why people may go through a life reset. Sometimes it's due to divorce. Sometimes it's due to losing a job. Sometimes it's due to an illness diagnosis or losing a loved one, losing your home. There could be many reasons that you go through needing to reset your life. I've been through 2 such life resets, both times due to divorce. And so I have learned a lot about it and I understand it. And while I may not understand your specific situation, the reason I make this channel is because I know that it's very hard to find people who understand what you're going through and who can offer actual help, encouragement, practical steps. Sometimes even just hearing another person talk about it can be good and helpful and therapeutic. Someone who actually kind of knows and has some idea about what it's like. Okay. So with that being said, today I want to talk through the topic of when it just sometimes feels really hopeless. I know that there needs to be a lot of optimism when you're going through this. I know you have to stay positive. I know you have to stay motivated. Trust me, I know. Back in the really hard times when my divorce, my second divorce especially, which I'm still resetting from, I had to pretty much do a complete life reset, starting basically from scratch. Now, it wasn't quite as much as during my first divorce. In my first divorce, I literally had to start from scratch to such a degree that I ended up like homeless, living out of my car for a while. The second divorce wasn't quite that much, but I did have to stay with family for a long time, basically sleeping in the garage, just trying to work 2 jobs, make ends meet to get back on my feet. It's expensive to get divorced out here and it's not convenient, and there's a lot that goes into it. But with that being said, there are a lot of people who say, you got to keep your chin up. You've got to be optimistic. You've got to be hopeful. You've got to think about the future, plan, make plans, set goals, wake up, try to motivate yourself, try to stay positive, all these things, right? I understand this, and this is good. This is good. But I want to talk a little bit about the hopelessness today, friends. There are going to be times on this journey when you're going to feel hopeless, like there is no hope. There are going to be times in this journey when, on any given day, you may just not have anything in you anymore. You may feel like going to bed and covering up and just saying, why does it even matter? What's the point in even getting up out of this bed? What's the point of showering? What's the point of eating any food? What's the point of going to work? What's the point of talking to my friends? Nobody understands what you're going through. Everyone expects you to perform just like people who are living normal. Nobody really has empathy for you because they don't understand what you're going through. Because those who haven't been through an actual big life reset like that or a life collapse, they don't understand what it's like. They legitimately don't know what you're going through. So it's nearly impossible for those people to have real empathy for you. And that can be very frustrating when you're going through it. You maybe try to talk to people around you, friends, family, coworkers, and they just don't. They'll maybe try to give you advice. They maybe try to make you feel better. And you're just like, what is going on? This isn't helping. And there's a point of that to where it's because they haven't been through it. And you can tell by the way they're saying it that there are some real moments of hopelessness on these journeys. There are some moments where you may just feel like you're ready to give up. You're ready to throw in a towel. You're ready to stop trying. Maybe you're angry at life. Maybe you're depressed. Maybe you think to yourself, what does it matter? Even if I build back up, it's going to fall apart anyway. This kind of existential dread can really be prevalent. Now, first of all, I'm not going to claim to have a magic pill for you, my friend. I go through this too. Even now, I'm making a lot of good strides in my journey to reset my life. I've went from in 1 year, I was getting divorced, and I got laid off from my job and basically had to change careers. And then my house get hit by a tornado. Now, I'm not trying to paint myself as some kind of victim. I'm just saying that was a lot to deal with. And there were times when I was like, oh my God, enough of this. Like, there's no hope. We're done with hope, guys. We're not going to get out of this. Like, that's how I felt. And then I would try to express that to people. They'd be like, oh, keep your chin up, be optimistic. You're just like, it is so hard sometimes to hear those things from people who have no idea what it's like. Right? Can you relate? Drop a comment. Let me know if you can relate to that. But here's the thing, guys. I don't have a magic pill for that. I don't have a magic way for you to fix that. If I did, I would use it in my life. And like I said, I'm making great strides. I had a survival job for a while. I was able to get back on my feet enough to move back into my house after the tornado. Got it fixed finally. Finally got to where I was making enough money working for myself that I could quit the side job. I love working for myself. So this is great news. We're getting back to normal. Starting to get my house fixed up, right? When the ex lived there for quite a while, after I moved out, because I made the decision to leave. It was my decision to initiate the divorce, and I left. And she stayed in the house, which is my house, but she stayed in it. And when I moved back into it months later, it was just trashed. Even now, the whole upstairs, I still haven't gotten cleaned up because every week I'm just so busy. I try to spend an hour or two a week just working on the upstairs, trying to get it less trashed, and it is just trash. So there's all these things, right? But overall, my life is making good strides. But friends, there are still days when I wake up or when I go to sleep. Actually, it's more at night. I'm laying in bed. That's one thing I notice. And I think it's because toxins accumulate in the brain during the day, and we tend to, we always feel worse at night. It feels like the depression, the anxiety, those things creep up on me more at night. And the later I stay up, the more those things can just race in my head. And so what I do is I try to go to bed and flush those things out. And then the next morning, I usually wake up feeling better. But sometimes it is in the morning. But I'll wake up and I'll think, or I'll go to bed and I'll think, what's the point? This is not going to work. None of this is going to work. Making YouTube videos isn't going to work. Trying to run my business isn't going to work. Trying to fix my house up isn't going to work. The bills are going to pile up. I'm not going to be able to pay them. Everything's going to fall apart. People are going to leave. My health is going to deteriorate. I have to, I have dental work I need done. It's okay right now. Is it going to be okay in a year? I don't know. I'm racing the clock to try to get that taken care of, right? We all have battles, guys. Every one of us. I do, and so do you. But in this case, sometimes at night, I will think, this is hopeless. I don't see a way to make this work. Now, here's another thing I've noticed. I've noticed that there are times when I feel really good. There are times when I think I can really do this. Like, this is working. Like, when I have a really good day at work and I make a lot of money, it's like, oh, this is really good. If I could just keep doing this, things would go in a good direction. We could really make progress like this, right? But then, I'll have a bad day or what, right? Or there'll be just a normal day. And I tend to feel bad on normal days. Seems like I need things to go really well to feel good and optimistic sometimes. Do you feel that way? Drop a comment, let me know. But here's the thing. Looking back on my life a year ago at this time of the year, it was so bad, guys. It was at the rock bottom I'd been at in a long time. Sleeping in a 96-degree garage with my dog, giving him wet towels so he stays cool because he can't be anywhere else. Like, he's a very high maintenance dog. I love him. Me and him stuck through it during the divorce. Sleeping in a 98-degree garage. We'd have to open the garage in the middle of the night just so he didn't overheat. And I'm just wet and sleeping on a cot. Stacking up lawyer payments as the divorce is, I'm trying to get the divorce filed, working 2 jobs, trying to scrape by, then getting laid off and having half the money and still having to do double the work. It's just, it was such hell at this time of the year last year. And every single day just felt hopeless. I don't even know what motivated me to keep going, honestly. I just kept telling myself, if you just put one foot in front of the other, you will get out of this darkness and you will get to the light. But you just got to keep moving forward. It's a pitiful, pissy, terrible journey, but you've got to do it. I would just tell myself this. I was like, and part of it was this channel. I made this channel and I would say things, and that I was basically speaking to myself because I had to find a way every day to stay in the game, to stay on the grind, just keep at it, keep going. Now, I'm not trying to paint myself as a victim here, guys. I've made mistakes. So have you. There were things I did that contributed to my life falling apart, right? I made a lot of choices that later came back to haunt me. For example, I probably shouldn't have even been in that marriage, and I probably knew it, but I kind of ignored myself. That's okay. We got to forgive ourselves. We can't beat ourselves up over this. But it's important for you to know that even if you've made mistakes, that doesn't mean you don't deserve another chance. And never at one point in our whole history were we intended to be perfect. We can't be. We're humans. We're primates out here trying to do the best we can with our primate programming. And we're going to do things that are going to, that are going to mess up the journey along the way. And that's okay. But every day I just put one foot in front of the other and I just said, I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. I deserve another chance. I deserve another chance. And someday there will be light at the end of the tunnel. And I can tell you this, some days that was all that kept me going was just raw, sheer determination and refusal to give up, even when it felt miserable, even when it was so terrible. I just felt like there was no hope at all. And I felt like that a lot. But when I look back a year ago to where I am today, life is so much better. I'm putting my home back together. I am getting back into good physical shape. I'm on the keto diet. I'm down 12 pounds within the last month and a half. This is amazing. My house is starting to look nice again, starting to feel homey again. I'm starting to date, meeting really amazing people, starting to get back into relationships with my friends that I had lost contact with for like a year because of all this crazy crap. And every day I'm still facing work, thinking, is this going to work? I need to get more money coming in. I need to make more money. Is this YouTube thing going to even pan out? Is my digital marketing going to even pan out? My other business things, is it even going to pan out? Every day I just have to keep learning, keep trying my best, one foot in front of the other. If I can look back at my life and the worst parts of my life today are so much better, what are the worst parts of my life today? The hardest part of my life today is my money situation. And sometimes it feels hopeless. But then what will it look like a year from now? Because today I'm putting the same kind of effort into my money situation, one foot in front of the other, learning, trying to just make every day count. That's the same thing I was doing last year. And if I keep doing that, what is it going to look like next year? Is it going to be better? Yes, it will be better. And if it's not a ton better, at least we'll have made some progress and learned along the way. And I can just keep trying one day. Today, I had enough money to eat. I had enough money to even drink an energy drink. Had enough money to pay my bills today. Had enough money to feed my dogs today. Even had enough money to put gas in the car, right? Tomorrow I'm going to play tennis with my daughter. We're making it. I made it another day, guys. And I have hope that I'll be able to do it tomorrow. I even have a plan to do it tomorrow and the next day and the next day. So sometimes hopelessness is going to be your companion. And I don't have a magic pill for you, but this is what I think of when I think of hopelessness. I just remember back at how bad things were a year ago and how much progress I've made in those bad areas. And then I think about, what are the bad areas today? Am I doing the same things today that I did a year ago on those bad things to get to a better place next year? Yes. Does that mean I'm going to start building the life I want? Yeah, it does. I set a lot of goals for myself back in that dark time. I said I wanted my home life to be a certain way. I wanted my relationship with my dogs to be a certain way. Like I wanted them to have a certain kind of like quality of life. I said I wanted my diet to be a certain way. I wanted my health to be a certain way. I wanted my work to be a certain way, my dating life to be a certain way. And I set all these goals. And I set them because I needed hope. And I needed something to look forward to. And those goals are coming true because every day I'm just putting one foot in front of the other. So now I'm focusing a lot of goals on my money life, putting one foot in front of the other. And guess what? A year from now, if I make that much progress in that way, like I did from last year to here on those other goals, I see that creates a lot of hope for me. Okay. And that framework is important. We have to identify the problems. We have to analyze them. We need to be fixing, adjusting, evolving, moving forward. If we keep doing the same thing, we'll keep getting the same results. So we do have to change some things. We've got to figure out how to adapt. How do I get from where I am to where I want to be? We have to make a plan and then do that plan every day. And if we do that, we're going to make a lot of progress. And that gives me hope because I've seen that work. And that's my only thing I've got for you today, guys, is trying to give you that encouragement that if you do that, it will work too. And you deserve it. So please never feel like you don't deserve another chance. Please never feel like you're not going to get another chance at life. You can get another chance. You do deserve it. I want you to deploy that framework so that you can also have hope. Hope that you can find that today, friends. Thank you for coming back for another episode of the Life Reset Collective. My name is Josh. I will see you amazing people on the next one.